It was almost like a little community away from everything else. The women who lived there, they did go out into the village, and they would go on sort of village activities, but it was, they were limited, and some people didn't go out hardly at all.
Okay.
And some people had relatives who visited, but many people didn't have any sort of. Oh, they did have relatives, but the relatives would visit very, very infrequently. So, to all intents and purposes, to a lot of the people there, the staff were like their family.
Okay.
And again, I suppose like Middlefield, there were staff there. It was quite a hierarchical thing with the staff, as I remember, and a lot of the staff had worked there for many years. And again, a lot of them were sort of very caring staff, but I think didn't really, realised how much better people's lives could have been. Because it was interesting, because people's lives were quite enclosed in many ways. They didn't have many opportunities and things. Certain things became very important to people. So it's always saying that the people who had relatives visiting, obviously the people who didn't have relatives visiting, that was a very upsetting thing for them. Do you know what I mean? So they would often be very, upset that they didn't have visitors. And there were sometimes disputes between people because of that, and resentment and various things like that. Well, it's a hotel now, isn't it? A restaurant. It's really bizarre going back and seeing the places where I see people. But it was, although it was a huge house, most people sat in one of two living rooms. Do you know what I mean? So there was a big dining room, and then there were two, sort of, as I remember, living rooms next to each other. And they would often have just the chairs around the sides of the room, and the women would sit in those chairs, some doing not very much, some doing some knitting or drawing and things like that. So again, it was quite, and as I remember, a lot of sort of disputes and so it was, again, not a very stimulating environment. I think the staff, they did try and take people out and try and do things as much as they could, but if you've got, that's the trouble, if you've got 20 people to look after and there's two or three staff, even if one member of staff takes a few, you can't take all the people out. So it's very difficult to do individualised activities, and I think that was one of the things. And the staff varied that. Some staff saw that we should be trying to get people doing more individualised things and things that they really enjoyed. Some staff didn't, I think, and they saw it as this is how it's always been done, this is the way it should carry on and things.